close the door. Alright, so I'm going to say this is our official episode 1. I'm going to say last episode was episode 0 because everyone was kind of getting ready, getting to know each other, etc. You are, I believe I said it was 12 days to Deep Space Nine. So I'm going to say that at the moment you are 6 days to Deep Space Nine, so you're about halfway through your journey. You guys still have 4 momentum from last game. Directives still the same as last game. Prime directive and break ground on GS1. Although in this game, in this session, you probably won't get there unless we do like a huge time jump, but it doesn't look like we're going to because I've actually written an episode for this session. Let's see. Oh yeah. So apparently somebody, I'm not going to say who, they know who they are, have discovered a potential foothold situation on a Marine base in the Gamma Quadrant. Let's see. Cadet Hines is having his monthly self-doubt bouts and episodes. I will say also that on day 6, you have begun to notice that, and I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know who it is on the Roll20, Cadet Ukath. She has become a lot more headstrong over the last almost week, the last few days. Her behavior has kind of become a bit. She is a Year 4 cadet, and she is in the Nova Squadron Elite Flight Group. And basically, whenever the ensign up in the cockpit isn't flying the ship, she is kind of taking over. And she has basically become like very bossy, I guess is the word to use. She is, after 6 days, she's kind of frustrated with the way, I mean, it's a relatively small ship, and there's like a couple dozen people kind of cramped in this, ship, and she has become a bit. I just want to make sure that I can get the right sound going. She has become kind of bitchy, I guess we'll say. And everyone is pretty much noticed it, but because everyone's a professional, they kind of just go with it. They don't, they haven't really said anything about it. Specifically, training instructor Merzeka is basically, he hasn't directly said anything, but he has definitely, anytime someone has come to him and been like, yeah, what's up with her? He's kind of been like, yeah, don't worry about it. She's an upperclassman and you're not. Let's see what else. Cadet Etchishar, the Andorian, one of the Andorians, he has begun to kind of have a bit of cabin fever. And he's basically, actually let me move him now. He has basically been remaining in his bunk in his barracks for the last 4 days, and anyone who has kind of went by his barracks would have heard like loud music and even at the occasional screaming at the wall. But then when they like open the door, he's all smiles like, "Oh no, everything's fine, everything's fine." Very unsettling. And let's see what else. Training instructor Merzek has come to the engineering cadet, Cadet Thiesen. I would say he probably came up to him earlier this morning and let him know that the computer bugs have on the ship that are pretty typical for old transport ships that people don't really maintain have begun to get worse. And basically, he is kind of hoping that Mr. Thiesen can take care of that for him, and if he needs any assistance from anyone, he can get that. All he has to do is ask. Let's see what else. I think that's it as far as like the overall what's been going on. So I'm going to start with Cadet Vilo. Cadet Vilo, over the last, at the very least, the last 3 days, you have been quizzed by Cadet Ukath on pretty much every starship operation you could possibly think of. As being a con cadet, a future pilot, she apparently, according to her, she wants to make sure that you are up to speed on everything. Even if it's this ship, which you're probably never going to fly, but she, for some unknown reason, she is pedantic. She is persistent about trying to make sure that you know how to fly this ship. Because as she would say, well, let me ask you this: how serious does Cadet Vilo take both Cadet Ukath and her kind of the way she's been training him? Is he kind of flippant? Is he very serious about it and agrees that he may have to take over, or is he somewhere in the middle?
Oh, he'd be very serious about it.
Okay.
He takes his job seriously, or his training seriously.
Okay. She'll tell you. Well, let's start with a roll. She'll ask you, what vector do you take if the 36-degree parallel is emitting radiation from a pulsar towards your vessel when you're on attack vector to a Dominion scout ship?
The right one.
roll a reason and con, difficulty 1, and if you succeed, throw me some astronavigation technobabble, and you're good to go.
Alright.
Alright, you guys get 1 momentum, so that puts you up to 5, I believe. So who's taking care of keeping track of momentum?
That's promising.
I'll do it.
I was mute. I was just gonna say I'll jump in and do that.
Alright, I heard a couple people say it, but I'm gonna go ahead and let Edgefor do it. So yeah, go ahead and give me some con technobabble.
I think with a dynamic flight vector, you could do an inversion roll and easily outperform that into the correct vector out of that loop, I believe.
She nods at you, but she's kind of looking at you skeptically anyway. She says, there are only 3 pilots on this ship. If something happened to Ensign Esrod or myself, you will need to step up to take control. And at this point, you start to begin feeling resentful, but you're not really sure why.
Okay, he would look at it and say, of course, absolutely, I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't let anything happen to the ship.
Again, she narrows her eyes at you and says, good. And as you guys are talking, training instructor Merzek walks up and he pulls her aside, and you don't really hear, unless I mean, I don't think you're not playing your Ferengi, so you don't have good hearing, but you could tell that they're having a pretty a conversation. I wouldn't say it's heated, but it's definitely a bit more heated than normal. They're whispering, but their voices are getting kind of raised a bit, and eventually she just kind of storms off and ends up heading towards her her bedroom. Yep, go ahead.
Oh, can I see if I don't know, not conspicuously, but just kind of lean in and see if I can hear anything just slightly?
Sure, let's try. I'm definitely going to say that's insight security because you're trying to overhear without them noticing. So insight security, difficulty is 2.
Probably 2, alright.
Yeah. I'm going to say he's training instructor Merzek's smart enough to take her, away from where most of the cadets are.
Alright.
Oh,
whoa! I can't believe that worked. Alright.
So
I mean, of course it worked.
you hear the last. I would say you hear the last 15 seconds of it, and it's basically like he says, "I've noticed over the last couple of days you've been acting very hostile towards some of the cadets. I need you to tone it down a bit, or go to your barracks and remain there for the rest of the day." And apparently, she chose the latter.
Ah, okay. Okay. So now I know why I'm a little resentful, a little bit.
Do you?
Okay. I think so. She brought it on herself. Yeah. Sorry.
Training instructor Merzek walks down the corridor, sees Cadet Corvinus, and says, "Cadet Corvinus, I need you to take charge of something for me."
Requesting permission to ask what kind of thing I am required to look over.
Well, he kind of looks around, and this is me not remembering which was the player who, I think it was Krylos, that discovered that the message might not be the potentially coded message from the Marine base. Was that Krylos, or was that Jaren?
It was a team effort across all the security cadets.
I knew it was. Well, I guess the specific question I was asking is which of those cadets are wanting to move forward on trying to uncover more information? Because I remember one specific cadet said that.
Soth definitely plowed ahead on that and took the lead in the chit chat once everything was discovered, and I think he rolled the most successes in the group roll.
So you're Jaren, over the last couple of days, as you would you've probably been looking at these letters from the Marine base to home repeatedly, and you have noticed that in real time they have actually changed. So like now she's only using the word foot once and stuff like that, so it doesn't look as suspicious. But training instructor Merzek comes up to Corvinus and says, "I need some fresh eyes on this report." He hands Corvinus a data pad. He says, "I need some fresh eyes." And I get with Cadet Charon, and I believe it was Cadet Karava, basically the security cadets. But he kind of looks around before he says, "I want you to be lead on this, because I believe some of the other cadets are a bit... They definitely, it seems like they want it to mean something when it may not, and I want you to be super skeptical and about this. And if it does mean something, and if you do see something, some kind of pattern in this message, I want you to come directly to me." Is that understood, Corvinus?
Understood.
Corvinus, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
get a Charon and what was the other one?
Karaba and Krylos, although I think it was those three were the original ones who were looking at it.
I was talking about the people that I need to get to, so we can all look over this to make sure to get this information clear. And
Yeah. So that'd be...
the ones who initially got the information aren't loopy to some degree from the...
So that was the other three security cadets, Soth, Karava, and Shrel, or Soth, Lupaza, and Shrel.
Oh, alright.
Yeah, so if you guys want to move your tokens to somewhere where if you want to... the way I'm considering the back is it's basically like a gathering area, so if you want to move, you can either all go back there or you can all go up front where you guys are most of you are already sitting. If you can't move your tokens, I know that some people have trouble with them for some reason, then let me know and we'll see if we can figure it out. But I'm not going to spend a million years on it because I know...
I can't move mine.
Yeah, I still can't move Shrel either, although I seem to be able to move Etchishar.
Can't move Yukina either.
It's so weird. Controlled by... Let's see if I'm changing... Let's see, where is it?
Oh
Alright.
my god, but I can control Mr. Bluehead at the bottom.
Alright, see if you can move
everybody
Shrel.
can.
Yeah, well, for the NPCs, I pretty much let everyone move all the NPCs just in case. So I'm basically...
Yeah, I can move him now.
Okay. So I basically have to manually... For some reason, I have to manually do it for some people, and others I don't. I don't know why. I changed the ease in... Who else?
Yeah, Yukina can't move herself.
You can. Oh, there it is. All
Yeah,
right.
only move Mr. Bluehead at the bottom, nobody else.
All right. So you should be good now.
Yep, now you can move her.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in space.
All right. So if everyone else is good, yeah, move your characters to wherever you want them. Have him go back up front. And yeah, Corvinus, as you and the others gather in the back to kind of look over this data pad, you start to feel ecstatic. Probably because you've finally got a mission.
Most likely, I'm finally doing something that's actually within my speciality, but I kind of was already planning something else in case certain situations happen, but yes.
As you guys are gathering back there, Cadet Pock moves up to you guys and she says, "Hey, look, I've been researching security reports from the Gamma Quadrant, and this one about this Marine Starbase G11 doesn't make a whole lot of sense." And she goes on to kind of explain, this is a whole different report. This isn't like the one that you guys are looking at. It's like a report from like 4 months ago. And she goes on to explain like some of the same kind of characteristics, like normal memos and normal reports to Starfleet all are identical. But then there's like some of these reports that have been like clearly altered in ways that shouldn't be. But you also know that Cadet Pock was not one of the individuals given this assignment. It looks like she just came upon it herself. So I'll ask Corvinus first, since you're kind of the one he put in charge. What do you want to do about Cadet Pock? Do you want to let her in to assist, or do you want to kind of shun her away? Do you want to report her to the training instructor? What do you want to do?
What is she doing? Sorry.
She walked up to you and basically was like, "Hey, these reports from this Marine base in the Gamma Quadrant, they don't look right. Do you guys know anything about this?"
Actually, we are overlooking this sort of information we have just received. So.
Well, may I assist you?
With the curious raise to his eyebrow. Early, are you positive that you would like to assist?
I mean, I look over security reports, well, non-confidential security reports on my free time, so yeah.
Alright, very well.
Thanks. And she kind of joins you guys at a table in the back. Cadet D's... Sorry, go ahead.
Soth will add that. He notes that, I kind of look over security reports in my spare time. Part of him thinks, wow, that's weird even for me. But he will just give a little note along the lines of, thank you for your fresh observations and commentary. Doubtless it'll be of help. And is sort of, keen to look at whatever else anybody else is suggesting.
Alright, while you guys are doing that, training instructor Merzek approaches Thiessen and Cadet Brack, and he hands you both data pads and tricorders and says, "Get to work on trying to figure out these bugs. I'm pretty sure they're just normal, routine issues, but we don't want them to become worse. We still have 6 days left in space."
Thank you.
He nods. At this point, Thiessen, you begin to feel nervous and afraid, although you're not really sure why. It could have been because he said, we don't want these bugs to affect the ship while we still have 6 days left in space. That's completely normal, but you're not really sure.
All right.
Alright, so I need the security team to roll reason or insight and security. Difficulty is going to be 3. And the engineering team, Brack will assist the engineering, will assist these, and I need a reason or insight and engineering roll. Difficulty is going to be 2 for the engineering roll.
I rolled.
Is all of the security team rolling a regular task, or
So
is it
sorry, yeah, I should have definitely. Whoops. Oh well. I should have definitely made that clear. So Corvinus, being the lead on this, is going to roll the main roll, and then everyone else is going to roll 1 dice to assist.
and it's
AKA
insight and reason?
momentum because I've already hit.
Insight or reason and security. So basically, add your reason or your insight plus security. All right, and I'm gonna do the engineering one first because, well, I'll do security first. All right, so yep, Corvinus basically got the 3 that y'all needed. Plus 1.
Wait, what's
So
this for?
sorry, what'd you say,
I
Crow?
rolled.
What's this for?
Looking up the corrupted or the Marine report that didn't make any sense from the Gamma Quadrant. Trying to study it more.
Yeah, I'll probably roll for that as well.
Alright, just roll reason or insight and security. Just roll 1 dice. And you guys, if you want, do you want the ship to assist? I mean, you don't need to because you've already succeeded, but if you want the ship to assist, it can.
If there are known bugs in the system, perhaps we don't want the system bugs to be interfering.
That is also true. Alright,
Pretty
so
true.
let's see. So you got 3, 4, 5, 6 successes so far. That puts you up to 3 momentum. So you have 2, I believe 2 bonus momentum. What do you guys want to do with your bonus momentum? Well, actually, let me give you the information that you find first. You can tell that the edits that are happening to these reports. Once you send a report, if let's say a captain of a ship sends, does his typical captain's log, he can go back in as up until the point where it becomes stored at memory alpha and sent to Starfleet command. He can go back in and in between the subspace relays and kind of change things. But then once it gets to Starfleet command and gets processed, that's it. These reports have long since been processed, like months ago or weeks ago or days ago. So they have to have been edited either at Starfleet command, memory alpha, or some other receiving location. Do you want to spend 2 momentum? Do you want to spend your 2 bonus momentum on anything?
I should say I don't think we've got bonus momentum. We were at 5 before we rolled. We got 3 additional successes. We're at 8 conventional momentum.
Okay, my bad. I saw
yeah,
7, so I assumed you were at 7.
Yeah, no, no. That was I added everything together and then Karava rolled. That's
Okay.
when I added Karava's one onto it.
Cool. Thank you for that. All right. So yeah, that's your information. So because you got full momentum, if you would like to spend that momentum for obtain information, create an advantage, whatever the case may be, you may. If not, then I will go on to the engineering roll.
I think it would be useful if we essentially created a list of the possible places organized in order of likelihood that this report could have been edited. And then we can start interrogating the various edit potential options in order of likelihood.
Okay. So the actual list of physical places, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so could it be what you said, memory alpha? So what kind of people have access to memory alpha with that kind of edit access? What kinds of people have got that kind of edit access at Starfleet security? We might not know their names, but we could know maybe their job title or their vague office, and then start working out who could have done the edit.
And do the other
Would it
security...
be possible for us? Would it be possible for us to tell when the edits were made?
That would be another bit of information I could give you with a momentum. So it sounds like we have 2 possible questions.
Yeah.
Karava,
Both very good questions.
and Corvinus. Which, if not both of those questions, would you like answered? Y'all can put your vote in.
Which of these 2 questions, right?
Essentially, who could have and when.
I think when. I think we should know who sent this, but I'm also stuck in. I'm kind of in a fence, to be honest.
Well, you have 8 momentum. You can get both with 2 momentum.
I'm gonna spend the 2 momentum to snatch us some both.
All right. And Karaba, do you agree or no?
Yeah.
All right. So it sounds like everyone is in agreement. Again, if anyone is not in agreement, just let me know. So put you down to 6 momentum, and I will say that the Who, there's probably a couple of hundred individuals that could have done it. The locations are a bit more narrow to Memory Alpha, like their central. Their central command center on Memory Alpha, because Memory Alpha is basically an entire planet with like subspace servers of all the information. And then for Starfleet Command, pretty much only San Francisco, Earth, like that office building type of headquarters. That building probably has way less people that could do it. Probably like, I would say probably division heads like the chief of Starfleet Security, the chief of Starfleet in general, the chief of they would have to be chiefs of like whole departments, chief of Starfleet Intelligence, and
is Memory Alpha run by Starfleet or the Federation?
I can't remember in TOS if it was civilian or not. I think it was. I hate that idea though. I want it to be Starfleet.
Easier to corrupt.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Basically, if you went to these locations, it would be a lot easier to find out who. But from where you like individually, but from where you are, it's pretty much going to be impossible. The best you could do is like send a report saying, "Hey, we found this information out. Can someone look into this?" But then who's to say that report won't get quote unquote lost in subspace? As for the time,
combined with the
sorry.
Please carry on.
As for the time, the edits that you're just now detecting have only happened within the last 6 days, like since you guys have seen it. You can also, I'll give you this bit of information for free. You also know that the person doing the edits knows that you have seen it. Any other questions?
No. Well, maybe one, but we can substantially, not we, but other investigators can substantially narrow down who it could be, because if we know, a couple hundred people in these locations, and we know when it happened, you just need to see who had an alibi of those couple hundred people for the
right.
one.
Yeah, the thing they're counting on, and again, another free information, the thing they're counting on is the fact that people were just overlook it. The fact that you guys, they obviously didn't count on you guys finding this out. Like, if I went to a big corporate headquarters building and, there's like 50 people there and I did something illegal and changed some computer records, as long as no one thought to look into that, I would never be caught. But as soon as someone says, I wonder if so-and-so did this, then we'd obviously be caught. That's kind of the thing that is going on here. It's like, if you guys had not seen it, they would probably never have been caught.
Seems to me that because of the timing of it, with us being in flight for 6 days, and the fact that the perpetrator, for the lack of a better identification, knows that we've seen it already, seems to me like it's possible that it's somebody on board this vessel that's doing it.
Yeah,
they caught you, season. No, I was kidding.
This was my thought as well, or at least a variant on it, because there's another alternative that we have not considered, which is that rather than the edits being made on the central servers, it's just us. A practical joke, a test of some description. Something that's been done on our side.
That's a very good point.
So I think we'll need to talk to somebody with some insight into the function of computers to make sure that it's sort of server side, not client side, as it were. And sort of like looks around to the other security people who are gathered to see if any of them have sufficient computer expertise, because he doesn't.
That's a good question. Does Corvinus, Karaba, or Krylos have any computer expertise?
Not really. Most of my expertise is more toward combat.
Okay.
As for him, he's more so if it involves tactical systems or quantum, or if it's tactical systems, then
Okay.
Is it engineering or is it science?
It would be security or engineering.
Oh, I know a
Oh.
bit of engineering.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of engineering as well.
he's got like a
Okay.
3 in engineering.
Does anyone have any focus on like cybersecurity or espionage or anything of that nature?
No.
No.
So,
No.
so basically, your roles. I mean, you've already made the rolls, obviously. But if you were to make another roll, at best they could be like speculative, kind of like they are now. Like you see what you see, and you're like, okay, definitely it could be this or it could be that.
Would interrogation count? Because I do have a focus in interrogation.
That would count if you were to try to figure out if it was someone on this ship that you were on, but not if it was somebody outside of the ship.
Ah, right.
I have improvisation.
Good for you. That wouldn't really help here.
I can give it a
Soth
try.
will turn. Soth will turn to Shrell, who I believe also made the suggestion that it could be somebody aboard this ship, and we'll say serious attention should also be given to the idea that it is a slightly more nefarious actor, as you suggested. I think we should find someone outside of our little cabal who is dependable and has the insights necessary to scrutinize these records. The first obvious thought is Cadet Yizan, of course. But I don't know if anybody has any other thoughts or if anybody would want to look into Cadet Yizan. By the way, Soth is very much not saying this like when there are other people in the room. This is very much
Right. Yeah.
like a scenario where other people won't be overhearing. I have no reason to question him, of course, and we can't descend into paranoia overly readily. We're Starfleet, after all.
Well, Shrell would agree with you, and also considering that I have little trust for other people, I would rather keep it within us Andorians, and would agree that Yizan would be a good person outside of our little investigation group to look into this for us.
Alright, Soth nods. He notes the little sort of like, I'd rather keep it amongst us Andorians. It's kind of like a, like, I'm not entirely... it's sort of, I disagree with how you got there, but we both got to the same place, so I'm not going to question it.
I have an inherent distrust of pink skins.
Yeah, like, drunk Soth is nodding. But he will say, in that case, I shall go and talk to the young cadet if nobody has any protests.
All right. So that's a good segue back to Yizan. Did you happen to roll that reason or insight engineering?
Yes, I did, and I rolled an 8.
All right. Did you roll 2 dice or 1?
1. Was I supposed to roll 2?
Yeah, go ahead and roll 2. Since you're the main roller on this, you can roll 2.
Was it 2?
A 2 and an 8. Okay, so is the 2 under? Do you have a focus that would apply?
Let me see. What would be the focus? Computers, because I'm on the computer, right?
Yeah, that'd be good. So basically, that 2 is actually 2 successes then, and so that means you got a total of 3 successes plus the 1 success from Cadet Breck. That's 4 successes. So you guys are up to 8 momentum. Plus now you actually do have 2 bonus momentum.
Nice.
Wait. Let me do the math again on that. So you had 4. The difficulty I think I said was 2. I'm pretty sure I said it was 2. So no, we don't have the 2 bonus momentum, but you do have full 8 momentum. So yeah, you're discovering that somebody on this ship has discovered these bugs and are intentionally making them worse.
And so I'm very afraid of this. I'm going to call for help. I'm going to At my badge, my comm badge. This is totally to any engineering staff. I need help right now on the computer.
All right. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the only engineering individuals besides you and Brack is nobody. But training instructor Merzek does have some engineering ability. We will just say because it makes sense. So he walks up to you and says, "What did you find, Mr. Deason?"
I found bugs, and these bugs are spreading. They're spreading from somebody on the ship. We need to take care of it right now.
As you say that, we'll say that's when Charon walks up to do his recruiting bid.
Well, okay, he walks out. He sees that he's in conversation with the training instructor, who obviously has priority on his time.
Well,
so-
the training instructor will look to you, kind of like expecting a report from you guys, the security people.
Training instructor, I have come to, if possible, consult with Cadet Yizan on the matter that we are looking at, if he has the time.
He nods and says, "These two issues might be related. Take him with you."
Thank you, training instructor.
And take Cadet Brack with you as well. So Cadet Brack is also another engineering cadet. He's he's an NPC, but he's the only other engineering cadet that you guys have. So he's ordering you to take this other cadet with you.
Well, okay, you don't disobey the training instructor, so at least not without good reason. So, of course, training instructor, but permission to roll insight security for an immediate. I'm gonna scrutinize you, like see if I get anything shifty off of you.
Which one are you scrutinizing?
Brack.
All right, insight and it'd be security. Insight and security, difficulty 4, complication range 2.
Complication range 2. That's interesting. I'll spend 2 momentum on this. Actually, no, I'll spend 1 momentum on 1 threat. And here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so I will.
Whoa.
Don't worry, it's not that bad. So first of all, I used a point of threat, so I get to re-roll that complication automatically anyway for free.
Nice.
Is Brack Vulcan?
He is.
Okay, fantastic.
So there's a historical antagonism between our cultures anyway, so...
Absolutely. But so, no complications, 3 successes for a difficulty 4, I think you said it was.
Yep.
Which means that... I'm just seeing if there's anything else I've got.
Why?
No.
How about this?
However...
Theeson is standing there with the 4 of you. If Theeson would like to roll insight and security roll 1 dice to assist, then maybe you guys could collectively do that thing on movies where you guys exchange like eyes, like glancing at each other back and forth, and you're like,
Also, if he does do that,
Yes.
my collaboration security activates, and you can roll off my security of 4 if you want.
Nice.
I don't have an applicable foci.
Nice.
I also have the security of 4.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
And I rolled a 4.
Nice. So that's 2 successes. That's a momentum. That's and you took away. Did you use momentum?
I used 2, so that takes us to
I thought you gave me a threat.
because we've got 1 excess.
I thought
Yes, that's true. So that is true. So we're back up at 8.
Yep. All right. So between the 2 of you, Cadet Brack seems to be a Vulcan who is very, very, very good at controlling his emotions. However, for some reason, he does seem a bit off, and for a Vulcan, that is a bit telling. His fists are clenched, his jaw is set, and his eyes are kind of stone cold as he stares at the 3 of you.
Okay. We know something's off. We need a bit more evidence before we start going, it's you!
But do you?
That's,
Sorry, no, this is not a Romulan ship, my bad.
something's off. That's interesting to note. Okay. We can't let Brack know yet. Okay, Soth's gonna do the thing where he like walks ahead. He's leading Yizun and Brack back to the group, but he's making sure that he's in front. And as he's heading back towards Corvinus and Shrell, Bertie and Shrell, he is giving them both the sort of, and he's taking advantage of the fact that his back is to the Vulcan, so the Vulcan can't see his face. The sort of like eye of, I'm not sure I like that one.
You know what? Roll presence and security, difficulty 3. Let's see if he notices. And it is going to be opposed.
Presence and security, difficulty 3. I do actually have an applicable thing here. Hang it. I'll spend. Will I spend a threat? Yes, I'll spend one threat, one momentum again.
He got a complication.
So.
Woohoo! This may not actually be good for you, though. When Vulcans get complicated, it's bad for everyone.
Oh my word!
Whoa! And you said you gave me a threat and you used a momentum. Is that what you said?
That's true, but
okay.
We're back up to full momentum because,
Yeah.
dear lord.
Yeah, you, definitely. What did I say the difficulty was? Sorry, God, my memory's getting worse.
3.
3. Okay. So yeah, basically
That's 3
2,
bonus.
3. So, oh God. I hate to ask you this. Can you do the math on that and tell me how a bonus one with the 3? Thank you. Sorry, my brain is just not working right this second. But so what do you? So I'll go ahead and tell you, number one, that you're able to easily kind of do and say whatever it is that you want to do and say. So go ahead and do that first, and then I will go ahead and inform you what the complication is.
Alright, so the thing that Soth is doing with his non-verbal communication to Shrell and Berthold Convenius is essentially letting them know that I'm suspicious about the Vulcan. The Vulcan's acting weird. He doesn't have more evidence beyond that at the moment, but that is what he is communicating non-verbally to those two, so they know, to be careful with what they say, perhaps, or they are alert to the situation.
Shrub picks up on Soth's nonverbal communication, and it only enhances his further distrust of Vulcans in general. So he's already suspicious. Now he's even more suspicious.
I'm imagining secret Andorian hand signs, but with antenna.
Right.
Venus just
Agreed.
takes immediate notice and, with a very narrow of his eyes, lets out a very nonverbal nod, like, alright, I'll keep an eye out.
Okay. But then leads in. So yes, the complication. Ooh.
The complication is he. Where is he? Pock. Because I think he said he was behind you. So once you guys get there, he stops and looks around and he says, "I'm sorry, but I am not feeling well. I must go to sickbay," and leaves.
That works out very neatly. Soth is just going to let them.
Well, it was a complication for him after all, not you.
Yep.
Speaking of sickbay, I wanted to get here for a bit, but you guys were doing some good roleplay. So, Snowball, Dorton, you guys have been ordered to do physicals on everyone on the ship, and according to training instructor Merzek, the physicals need to be done within the next 3 days. So if you want to kind of spread them out over the next 3 days, that's fine. But before you get to DS9, the physicals must be done. And as per Star Trek, physicals are basically just scanning people and asking questions and stuff like that. So there's nothing too pervasive about it in the future, apparently. The first person you're going to be doing a physical on is training instructor Merzek. So I'm going to move her out the way, and I'm going to say that, well, the doctor's actually there, yeah. This is kind of the sickbay area.
Oh, okay, it's in the wrong spot.
To be honest, I didn't label anything, so I probably thought that as well. Actually, I think the kitchen was originally supposed to be, yeah. Either way, we'll say this whole area for now. Training instructor Merzek is not giving you any direct orders. He's basically do physicals, and then he comes in for his appointment as if he is not your training instructor, as if he's just a normal member of staff, and he walks in and sits down and just waits. So what do you guys do? I'm assuming the actual. So that's the question I will ask. Who's taking lead on this? The medical cadet or the counseling cadet?
I would hope the medical cadet.
I was about to say, it's probably me who's the medical cadet.
I just wanted to make sure. You never know with these games.
I can supplement it with a psychometric assessment of some kind,
that
and I'm sure I'll want to.
In fact, Snowball, you could probably do the more medical-related kind of physical stuff, and Dorton can do like the questionnaire, basically ask them how they're feeling and all that bullshit. I mean, all that good stuff. So yeah, Merzek sits down. Dr. Lambert is going to be kind of like in the corner watching you guys because obviously this is all part of training. He definitely doesn't have that creepy look on his face. So yeah, go ahead and take it away. Like I said, Merzek's just sitting there quietly waiting for you guys to approach.
Okay. Snowpaw will approach taking out the medical tricorder from probably one of the trays nearby. They're probably stationed, from what I understood of seeing things before.
All right.
And pick up one of the small I don't know what those are called, but one of those small individual scanners.
Oh yes, the medical tricorder scanner.
Yeah.
All right. That's just what I call it.
I can't remember the exact name of it, but so yeah, it's that.
All right. And
so I'll flip it open.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead and make a reason and medicine scan, difficulty 1. And then as you're scanning him, Merzek coughs lightly.
Alright, so it's a complication range and of 1 and a task roll of 2, right?
Hold on. Complication range of 1, task roll 2. Yes, unless you want to spend momentum to get more dice.
No, I'd like to use momentum if I screw this up.
Okay.
It looks like I got 2 successes.
Yep. I'm going to actually have the ship assist, because although you are using a tricorder, since you are on a ship, it's kind of an extension of the ship, so let's see.
Okay.
There we go. And did not assist. So you. Oh, and don't forget, you guys have bonus momentum. Eventually, I will let you know when, quote unquote, the scene changes, which just means like we move on to like another part of the story, and in which case those 3 or however many it is, bonus momentum will be going away. So if y'all think of anything to use them for, let me know. You can also use them to change the narrative. So, for example, you can change it so that. I mean, you can't like retroactively change something that I've already stated, but like if I haven't stated something, then you can say we want to change it so that I don't know, maybe you want CPO Boone to be helping you guys in the back with the security scan, or you can change it to say that maybe you're closer to DS9 than you than has already been stated, just because time has moved quickly or whatever. But if you guys think of anything, let me know. All right, so.
Okay.
Good roll.
So I'll start. So I plan to start scanning, and I'll start asking basic health questions at first. So, sir, have you been feeling? I noticed that you have a cough. Has that been persistent lately? As I will start scanning over his chest, asking him such a question.
Okay. You'll notice from your scanner that, or from the tricorder that you're holding in front of you, that it looks like he's in perfect health, and he says, actually, the cough just started like 30 seconds ago. And he coughs, and when he coughs again, it's obviously fake.
Oh, sir, you're not saying that you're allergic to me. Is that what's going on?
You can see the look in his eyes as if he never even considered that. He was like, no, no, I was just testing you.
Oh, calm down, sir. It's just a little medical bay humor.
He starts chuckling. He says, "Okay, you got me. Good one."
Here it shows that you're actually in pretty good health.
Good
Looks
to know.
like your lungs are clear. Not seeing any for antibiotics. Looks like the joints in your shoulders are actually pretty healthy also, as she starts, scanning down his arms now.
Yep, the scan continues to reveal that everything is fine, except he's a cyborg. No, I'm just kidding. He is completely fine. And at that moment, Dorton, you begin to feel your feeling of, let's see, not that one. Oh, there it is. Ecstatic.
Ecstatic.
Yep. Sorry, I had to look.
Now we get to the fun part, training instructor. We're going to do a standard emotional stress test. Don't worry, this will be fine.
He looks at you like, what? This wasn't part of the
this
plan.
is part of. This is every standard medical exam now. New Starfleet protocol. So I'm going to display some images to you, and you have to tell me how you feel when you see them.
Okay.
And I take him through a series of a variety of images, both benign, pleasant, and terrifying.
He gives you the correct answers, as he has taken this test before. However, he was not aware that it was standard Starfleet procedure. But he basically passes with flying colors. And he even questions, like, where did you get those pictures, because they weren't on the ship before. And yeah, he just gives you his answers, and his emotions, it seems, are perfectly fine. However, some of the pictures, when you look at them, you just can't help but to laugh.
Oh, and I'll do that. Like when I bring up one that I find particularly hilarious, I'll start laughing. I love this one.
He says, the split pea soup?
Yes.
Okay.
Delicious and hilarious.
I am just looking at her like, what the hell?
Training instructor Merzak.
See, he didn't even cry. This is great.
Merzak kind of shuffles off his little bed thing and says, "Okay, you guys have passed with flying colors. Now you gotta conduct the physical on the next person." And he kind of nervously just nods to you both and like tries to make his way out. Do you guys say anything to him before he leaves?
I could give you some Benadryl if you need.
He ignores that.
I laugh hysterically.
All right.
Have a good day, sir. We'll take the next patient when ready.
All right. I'm going to say, Velik, you're going to be the next patient, because I know you weren't here last time, and you probably want to do some RP. So go ahead and approach the sick bay.
Okay. I'm going to look at the other individual and look at her and go, were you trying to make him cry?
Well, I'm never trying, but it's a natural part of therapy, quite especially in a stress test.
And as Velik is...
Certainly some of the cadets are going to cry as part of this. I'd like that to be as he's walking in.
As Velik enters and you say that, Cadet Breck, you see that he kind of shuffles past Velik and says, Cadet Storton and Snowpaw, I require your assistance. How does Velik react to that? I wouldn't say he brushes, like he hasn't made physical contact, but he was clearly, like, rudely jumping ahead in front of you.
I see. Velik looks at him and he's like, maybe some personal space, thanks.
He looks back at you with a perked brow and says, and with like a clenched jaw, my apologies, Velik, but I require assistance. And he looks and glares. He looks at both Dorton and Snowpaw, even Dr. Lambert in the back corner, but he kind of glares daggers at Dorton.
And
I see.
What is he feeling right now?
Well, that's a good question.
Murder's intent.
There is a empath in the room.
Yes, there is.
Well, number one, I'm not going to remember if there's an empath among 15 or 20 players and characters. So if y'all want these questions, you got to ask them. As for yeah, you private messaged me that, but I had no idea who you were talking about. So I know Runa's empathic. Who else is empathic?
Dorton is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So unlike normally, because with Vulcans it's very hard to feel their emotions because of how deeply they control them, you can feel burning rage coming from him, but you can clearly see that he's like trying to control it.
I look at him and I say, "Do you need any Vulcan-related assistance?" Or
He kind of glances at you and narrows his eyes and says, "No, I require a sedative. Give it to me immediately."
sedative? Why would you want a sedative? You're a Vulcan.
You
We have
guys can
natural
feel
sedatives
his.
in our brains.
You can, when he says you're a Vulcan, you can feel the rage like increase to 11. Like he turns and glares at Velik, and then he turns back to
Mr.
Dorn.
Velik, this is a private matter. If you could leave the sick bay, that would be great.
Very well. And Velik leaves.
As Velik walks out, you bump into Cadet Ukaf. And who was that? Oh, that was Charon. Never mind. Yeah, you bump into Cadet Ukaf, and she kind of narrows her eyes at you. And this time you do bump into her, but it's clearly her fault. Like, she came out of her quarters and was like rushing towards sickbay and wasn't paying attention. And she says, my apologies, Mr. Velik. I'm not feeling well. Please excuse me.
That's okay. We can move
So
on.
I'll turn to the Vulcan friend and go, "Alright, if you could please come over here and take a seat, I'll look at what's ailing you and prescribe exactly what you need."
Alright.
I did that so bad.
No, you're fine. You did it fine. I'm gonna jump from sickbay for a moment, and Vilo up front. Your whatever your emotion was, which I think was resentfulness, is increasing in magnitude. In fact, Heinz, who's sitting across from you, for some unknown reason, you're really resenting his face right now.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I thought it was. Okay. I thought it was directed to you caught or you. Forgive me, I can't pronounce.
Well, your as once Ukath left, your resentfulness continued and got worse and worse. And basically, every time you thought about something or looked at something, your resentfulness would just increase. And so you basically become you're basically thinking like, am I just resentful towards everything and everyone? And Heinz sitting across from you, he has been dictating into a data pad his log, and he's including every single little thing, like, oh, there's some dust over there, someone should really clean that up. Like, he's really annoying you right now. Go ahead and make a control and command, or no, presence and command. Let's see if you can maintain your composure. Otherwise, your resentfulness may turn into anger. You do, but barely. How does Vilo react? What does he do?
Well, I guess, okay. He look up and he say, as he's listening to him, he just kind of looks up, because while looking at a pad of a flight, trying to look at a pad of flight.
Right, you're trying to study.
Or flight maneuvers. You're trying to study.
And
yeah.
Heinz is saying
he looks up and he helps him out. He goes,
it looks like Vilo's trying to study. I wonder if I should be quiet. No, I'm sure he can't hear me. It's fine. My mother used to tell me I used to talk too loud. I don't know. And he just keeps rambling on.
I'll get him, put the pad down to my side, and just no, get up, just put the pad on my side, and go. Oh, don't forget to document the dust I see over there in the armchair, and make sure you get this too. And I kick something else out from underneath the chair or something.
Ooh.
Just kind of look at him and go back to my pad.
Merzek walks in just as you kind of finish speaking to him and look down, and he looks around. He looks over to the Marine who's just sitting there reading on a data pad. And he just looks back to you, Vilo, and then he looks over to Heinz, and he's like, he just shakes his head and walks past you towards the cockpit. Let's see. Velik, after unless you
Yeah.
try to stop Ukath, she is gonna head towards sickbay. Do you try to talk to her or stop her or anything?
No, just let him move.
All right. So you're Velik. As after she passes, you start to become hopeless. In fact, you think, "What is the point in life? We should just all step out of this airlock that's just a couple decks away and end it all now."
Logical.
Let's see. Roll a presence and command. Let's see if you can contain this hopelessness and dread that's for some reason come upon you.
Okay, give me just 1 sec. Going up. Sorry, I was downstairs.
No, you're good.
All right. Presence command, you said, right?
Yep.
All right. I do have a collinar focus. Could that come in handy?
This will assist you, yes, because it is dealing with emotions.
Right. Okay. How much momentum do we have? Let's see.
I believe you're at 8.
Plus 3.
Yeah, so I would probably use some of that bonus momentum. You could use all
I'll use
of
the 3. Yeah, I use the 3 bonus.
All right, cool. Get rid of
3
it.
dice.
You'll probably end up getting more anyway.
Yep. Oh.
Ooh.
Only 2. Wow.
And your Colinar, does that reduce difficulty?
No, it only. Oh, yeah. So it reduces difficulty when you're being sort of charmed, I guess, convinced to do something else against your will, something like that.
Okay, so this does actually count for that.
Right.
However, there is no opposed like check. This is more of a. I'm not gonna say it's natural, obviously, because it's not, but it is something that's just kind of settling, and it's not something that's trying to kind of attack, if that makes any sense. So I'll say the normal difficulty is 1, so you could bring it down to 0, so you will actually get 2 bonus momentum for that.
Okay.
So yeah, even though this hopelessness has fallen upon you, you are able to kind of see it for what it is, which your character would definitely be like, this isn't normal for me. But at the same time, you are able to control it and kind of just push it down and get on with your business.
Nice. So does it stay with me, or?
Oh yeah,
is it
it's
now gone?
you can tell it's getting worse.
Right.
To put it in game terms, the difficulty will increase.
Okay.
Does Corova notice?
Each individual player character's emotions that are getting worse will get in, like do it individually and separately. So like this isn't happening like a blanket slate upon everyone. This is more like each individual person is experiencing things differently.
Oh no, I mean, does Corova notice Velik being hopelessness? Like
Well,
noticing that it looks depressed.
Are you near him because he's near sick
I'm in the
bay?
same room.
Okay, if you're empathic, you would notice probably, but otherwise, unless Velik is staying in that room, you're probably not gonna notice. And like I said last time, take this schematic with a grain of like huge salt. Like this is just the basic outline of what I could find. It's not like literally what the ship looks like. Otherwise, it would be really, really tiny, and really, really, because it doesn't have a sick bay, it doesn't have mess hall, it doesn't have an engineering room for some reason, even though it's a ship. So this is just kind of like a basic layout of the ship. So basically, like sick bay's across from the gathering area, but he just turns and like leaves and heads down the corridor. I'm assuming to his quarters, but it's up to him where to go.
So are there any windows that I can basically look through to the outside where we are?
Yeah. I mean, you see space. You're.
I assume by the cockpit or something.
Well, there are windows. Hold on, I'll show you. Hold on. So this is your ship. So it doesn't look like there's actually that many windows. Oh yeah, there are. So
I guess at the front.
Yeah. So the cockpit is up here where those windows are,
Yep.
and the chairs where everyone sits is probably right there. So there's no windows there. But the corridor where you guys are kind of just walking around, there are windows, that really tiny windows there. So you can look out and see.
Okay, then he's just gonna go to the nearest window and brood and basically look outside.
All right. I hate when this happens. This frickin'... It won't... The music is like, you have to do things specifically at a certain way or it won't work. So, alright. So gotta pause that. Then I change the scene. There we go.
Sorry. Runa makes her way up to the front.
Okay, where's Runa headed?
Up to the front, because it's getting crowded at the back.
All right,
With all the emotions.
She finds training instructor Lieutenant Dufresne, who is training the security training instructor. You find the Marine, who's just a passenger heading to the Gamma Quadrant. You find Cadet Hines, and you find Cadet Vilo. What does Runa do? What does she want to do?
She's gonna sit up here for a bit quiet because of she wants to sit over here, more closer to the security. But she's gonna just sit there and for quiet.
Okay.
Because it's getting crowded at the back.
Who's that yawning?
Sorry.
Sorry. All right, so you're sitting up front, and is there anything you specifically like? You're able to feel his resentment pretty strongly. You can't really feel anyone else in the vicinity, but you can feel his resentment. But other than that, what does Runa want to do?
Runa just gonna sit over the other side and says, "I can feel your resentment."
Yeah, you don't need to add to it. He looks back at his pad.
Oh God, how does Runa take that?
She perks her eyebrow. And she goes, it seems like you need counseling."
You know, what I need is quiet. I'm trying to read, and there's no place on the ship to study. And he keeps looking back down his pad.
She's gonna let it slide until they get to the new the new academy.
That could be weeks, though. So training instructor Merzek is gonna come out then, and he's gonna notice. He's gonna look between Runa and Vilo. He's gonna notice the tension, but he didn't hear what it was said, and he hears Hines keep reciting his bullshit. And he looks over to the gunnery sergeant, and she's kind of trying to restrain a snicker. And he looks at Dufresne, who's just utterly shocked at the moment, and he says, "Is everyone all right?"
I'm fine. It's a little noisy back here, sir.
You know where it's not
trying
noisy?
to study.
Your bunk. Go there.
That sounds like a plan. He gets up and storms off. I don't know where my bunk is, though.
we'll just say it's literally anywhere. Like I said, this is just a general schematic. It's not the exact layout of the ship. So Merzek Hines has stopped talking. Like he's just now figured out what's going on, and he looks around like shocked. Merzek looks to Runa Dufresne, and he says, "What's going on? What was that about?
He couldn't keep his emotions in check.
Seems to be going around.
For some reason, he was resenting. For some reason.
I might have to make an announcement soon.
Basically, I think he needs to go and see the council.
Well, the counselor can see him in his quarters. I don't want him out of his quarters unless it's absolutely necessary. Back to the security personnel. Lieutenant Carava, you're starting to feel your resentfulness building and building and building. I don't think you don't have to roll just yet, I don't think, but you're definitely sensing it start. Corvinus and Carava, all the security cadets, what are you guys doing? Are you still looking at your looking over your data pads of the reports?
And now that the... Oh, please, carry on.
I have been scrolling through the data pad with an increasing sense of glee. And basically, I have been extremely fixated, like a cat to catnip. If cats don't act, you know. But they just put their entire attention onto this datapad, finally being able to do something to the point they briefly forgot that he's also working with others. Just briefly.
Alright, and
That's
Edgeford?
good. Yeah, no, Soth is working away. He's happy about his work, but not like artificially so, or to an unusually high degree. But the main thing that he's interested in now that Brack's out of the room is Cadet Yeezen's insights as to the electronic side of this and whether it's a server side, client side problem, and if he can help with the electronic analysis.
So you said you want to help with the electronic analysis? Is that what I'm...
Yeah, because we were trying to work out whether or not, well, one, to get a little bit more information, but also to work out if the edits are something that only we're seeing, or if it really is something that's being done at the central repositories.
I'm pretty sure I answered
out.
that with one of your bonus, or with one of your momentum, that it's definitely something that has to be... So, like, if I sent... I guess you can't really use anything... I mean, I don't know how...
Well,
computers work,
yeah,
but...
you told us that if the edits are what they appear to be, that they could only have been made from either San Francisco or Memory Alpha.
Right.
You definitely told us that, but it's what we're just checking is if it's an edit that's happening at San Francisco, the Memory Alpha, or our data pads. Yeah, if it's something on our end that's weird, because we know there are the computer bugs as well. So it's just ruling that out, which it almost certainly is.
I can
but
tell
also
you. I can tell you that the. So as you guys are studying the problem, you realize, because you do have an engineer there to help you, you do realize that the bugs and the report from the Gamma Quadrant don't seem to be related. I mean, they could be, but they do not seem to be on the face of it.
That's very helpful. And
But a skilled person messing with the messages could intentionally make it appear that way as well.
That is true, except I'm the GM and just told you that, so I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, this is definitely a home base operation, so to speak.
Kravel just ask, who on board this ship has the capability to do that, I guess, is what we need to find out. Because we don't necessarily have that sort of training, but perhaps somebody else does.
At that moment, Merzek walks in.
Someone definitely has.
He says, "Did you find anything out?"
Yes,
Report.
Training instructor. We have, and Soth will sort of like look around to make sure it's just the circle in the training instructor in here, which it appears to be. And he will say, we have worked out that the reports appear to be coming less obvious regarding the code as time goes on. However, we also have reason to believe that they have been edited within the past few days, and perhaps further edited since we have been scrutinizing them. We know that the edits are not coming from aboard this ship. And we know that the edits are likely coming from either Memory Alpha or San Francisco, as chilling as those two possibilities are.
All right. Merzek just puts his hands in the air and says, "All right. From this,
our training instructor.
From this." All right. Merzek puts his hand up. All right. From this moment on, no one is to speak of this. Hand over your data pads. Remove any information from your personal data pads or tricorders or computer terminals. This did not happen. Because if there's something going on back at home base, then that's beyond our pay grade. I will submit a report to Starfleet and see what happens. If it's as what it looks like, then I expect that by the time we get to Deep Space Nine, we will find a security detail waiting for us. If not, then that may even be worse. We don't know, but I do know one thing. we are not. It is not our job to go around policing the galaxy or even Starfleet. So we need to pretend like we didn't see it. Otherwise, we could be in a lot of trouble. Is that understood? He looks to everyone in the room.
Out of character, I assume the thing that we would supposed to do if we came across a serious security concern along these lines is obviously and formally lodge it with some responsible person, and then let that responsible person, do further investigating because it is outside our remit, but not to delete our evidence of the fact that we found a security concern. So I'm guessing what the training instructor is asking for is unusual or out of protocol.
So I guess it depends on how you look at it. But essentially, he's telling you to give everything over to him and let him handle it and take responsibility for it. That's the general gist of what you're getting from him. As far as like deleting things, he just means like, if you have any physical evidence stored on your personal shit, get rid of it, because that could implicate you, basically. It doesn't seem like he's trying to like throw you guys under the bus or anything like that. Seems like he's trying to be the one that quote unquote found it, so if anything bad happens, it's on him.
Okay, and he's not trying to do the thing where we delete our evidence, then he never submits it, and oh look.
Well, here's the thing: if he submits the security report and has like evidence that he's done that, and that you guys, that the cadets could find, then that would just as easily put you guys in danger as it would if you the other way. So
I think you're slightly misunderstanding my concern, or rather Soth's concern, which is the idea that he's part of the conspiracy and is going to take these reports and get us to get rid of our evidence.
If you want to roll insight security, you can.
Yeah, right. What's the difficulty going to be?
I'm going to say difficulty 2, but he's not contesting it.
Okay.
Can I roll this too?
Yeah, anyone can roll.
This is suitably vicious. I'm going to consume those 2 bonus momentum. So we go to.
So are these going to be rolls for assist also?
I'm going to say for this individually, just because there's a high likelihood of success, except for Charon. Jesus! Put points in insight!
I would.
You should know.
I had points in insight before I moved to the cadet job.
Oh, right.
By the way,
yeah, that does happen. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Like I said, if it comes out horribly different, you guys can, as long as you keep the same amount of points, you can move them around. But that's, I understand.
That's cool.
And what's your reason?
Are we rolling first?
Reason is 7.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry, what was that?
He's like daring, control, and presence.
I mean, are we assisting in this role? I mean, I would have the same concern, just out of my own distrust of others.
I mean, you can assist. However, I will go ahead and say that so like if you assisted, I would say your assist would go to Charon because he's already failed. But if you assisted him, you both could succeed. Guy has already succeeded, so he doesn't need the assist.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
But if you wanted to roll for just yourself, I mean, you could get like 4 or 5 successes, and then you would know what he's thinking. Like you would know more than they.
It would be an assist roll and not a task roll, though, right? It would be just one die.
Yeah, correct.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
And it is okay. Corvinus, are you rolling or no?
Yeah, I'm rolling.
All right. So both of you, so the 3 of you guys. So Guy, you just immediately are like, okay, well, I'll say it like this. Karaba, you think that Merzek is being honest, and he is trying to protect you guys from yourselves, essentially. Well, to be honest, you think he's trying to protect you from him, because he's the one that gave you the mission to look into this stuff. He didn't know what it would actually turn out to be. So, he's trying to protect you guys. He's going to take the fall if there is one. And Charon, at first you're kind of suspicious. You're like, hold on a second, you might be part of it. But then, like, Krylos, you somehow kind of manage, the 2 of you kind of exchanging looks, somehow manage to convey to one another, like, okay, he's probably on the up and up. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a full-on task roll for Corvinus, since you got two. That again, Corvinus, you're thinking he's on the up and up. But I guess the question is, do you allow him to do this, or what? What is your guys' response to what he is ordered you to do?
Well, while purely internally, Soft doesn't say any of this, whilst he doesn't think this is the right order to give, he has received a lawful order from somebody that he doesn't think is acting improperly, so the order will be obeyed.
Okay.
And document handed over.
So, Corvinus, Deezen, and Karaba, your guys' emotions that was mentioned earlier, the resentment for Karaba, the ecstaticness for Corvinus, and the nervousness for Deezen, your guys' emotions begin to increase. I need you guys to roll a presence and command difficulty 1 roll.
Who's rolling that?
Corvinus, so that's Nostra Charon, who's played by Edgeford, and Deezen.
Oh, even Soth, his one hasn't kicked in yet.
There's two
D20s. Sorry. Yeah, 2 D20s. Sorry, let me look and see who I really meant.
That's a complication.
Because I know there's 3 people. Corvinus, Deezen,
A 3 and a 1.
Karaba. That's what I meant, sorry. Alright, so, yeah.
3 and a 1.
A 3 and a 1. Ooh, nice. So that's at least... Do you have any focuses that would apply, like composure or anything like that?
Yeah, I have a composure.
What was that, Deezen?
Let me see. Oh.
No? Okay. So, a 3 and a 1, that's 3 successes, so you and Corvinus have both earned you guys, let's see, 2 momentum each. So that's bonus momentum of 4.
Yep. Okay, I'll edit that.
And
Also, I know that because Guy failed, Soth's talent backup plans, whenever any ally fails a task roll, immediately generate 1 momentum.
I succeeded.
Well, he didn't fail, but he did get a complication. How do you want to handle that complication? Do you want to do the traditional spend 2 momentum to get rid of it, or do you want to gamble with 1 momentum and then re-roll at a higher complication? You do have 4 bonus momentum.
I'll spend 2 then.
Alright, so that brings you guys back down to 2 bonus momentum. So yeah, Karaba, your resentment, it's still getting worse, but like you're able to realize that it's getting worse and to kind of just keep it under control. Corvinus and Deezen, you guys' emotions are pretty much in check. You know it's happening, but it's not getting worse by much.
She glares angrily at the instructor, and she'll just angrily delete her whatever records, and she'll walk off in a huff, and she'll go find Z.
Okay. As you go find Z, Merzek just looks around like, what the hell's going on here? And now, Krylus, at this moment, your character begins to feel, like I said before, lethargic, exhausted, as if he needs to take a nap.
Right. As I hand over my data pad, my exhaustion is beginning to reveal itself on my face, and I kind of in an exasperated manner, hand the data pad to the training instructor and say, "My data's deleted, sir. I'm going to take a nap."
As you exit, he kind of takes the pad and looks at you, and then he looks over to Corvinus and Chara and just shrugs. What is going on around here?
Does he say that, or is that his expression?
Yeah, no, it's both. His expression, and then, like, assuming you guys don't immediately, like, respond to his expression, he's gonna be like, what in the world is going on around here?
It does seem to be an unusually widespread version of, well, a variant of cabin fever, but, well, these are all...
potential form of intergalactic radiation from which we might have from a long-term exposure to radiation potentially from the void itself. Perhaps.
Merzek shrugs. It's like, I don't know. That's as good as an idea as any. I've never seen anything like this before. It's you got Atchishar in his room for the last day and a half, just banging on the walls and listening to crazy music, and Ukath is crazy, just like. I mean, I know she's headstrong, but Jesus, I mean, the way she's treating Vilo. Look, if you guys notice anything, go to sickbay. And if that's not a possibility, go to your quarters. How about that?
I was gonna say, Crowther being angry is also very out of her character as well.
Yeah,
Like, no one's really been angry around people.
Yeah, I think most, well, definitely Velik, but I think most of the cadets that have been around Krava know that. And to be honest, all of these things that's happening to everyone, regardless of, like, obviously resentment and all these things are normal emotions, but to the degree that they get to, it's like, and then, you know, for the reasons that they happen, those are the parts that are like really abnormal. So I think at this point, everyone is starting to notice that other individuals are becoming a bit unhinged, so to speak.
Soth will nod his understanding to the training instructor's recommendation to go to medical or your quarters if things start to look strange.
Okay.
And if the training instructor takes the opportunity to leave, but not if the training instructor stays around, Soth will turn to Berthold after that radiation comment and just say with a grin, "You're all sunshine and smiles today, aren't you?"
I thought that was at first I thought that was a sarcastic laugh, then I was like, oh wait, no, she's ecstatic.
Oh, absolutely.
You have issues there.
Okay. Soth is kind of like laughing along for the first 3 seconds, and then he starts to get concerned. Covenant, Bert. And he's got like got a hand on each shoulder. Bert, look at me, look at me, Berthold. Come on, give me a rise, Berthold. Come on, breathe. Cycles, calm. Come on. And he's sort of like, you know, he's holding what? Okay.
I think it's actually Nostra laughing now.
I'm not sure.
Is this currently happening in the sick bay?
No, it's happening across the corridor from the sick bay in the gathering area.
The communal area. Come on.
Vilo bangs on the wall and says, "I'm trying to read."
Hand on one shoulder, the other one's trying to take one of Corvinus's hands in his. I was like, okay, Berthold, come on. Just calm. Cycle the breathing. It's nothing to be that. All right. Okay.
All about space radiation.
We're just going to walk over here. This will be okay. And starts
We're all
gently
being
guiding.
irradiated by space itself. What do you...
It's very funny. And just starts gently guiding Corvinus to the medbay.
I'm looking at the doctor in the medbay, hearing the laughing.
Yeah, they basically like because the sickbay doors I imagine have those like windows that you see, the round ones in the middle. So like you could see them coming as you know, and then the doors part and you just hear the laughter.
And you can see Corvinus just absolutely wheezing like a broken down old rubber duck.
I think my friend and colleague here appears to have a moment of hysteria. I think.
Let's turn on the bed here.
Oh god!
Well, that's a pleasant surprise and change from what we're dealing with the Vulcans in here.
Yeah, let me get to the Vulcan real quick. So yeah, you've been scanning him probably for like 5 minutes because you're not detecting anything abnormal about him. You're just detecting a high level of rage, and he's controlling it as best he can, but he is still begging for a sedative. Do you at any point give him the sedative?
I'm going to look to the doctor about this because this is a bit different.
Get above the
Doctor,
pay grade of a med student and a counseling student.
really quick, I think we might need to do more than just a sedative. Wait, let me see. I do have xenobiology.
Okay, so
I'm suggesting possibly a brain scan.
all right. So he comes over. Dr. Lambert comes over. He's basically got him in like one of those full body lay down scanner things. And while he's dealing with him, Ukath has entered and basically has been waiting. So go ahead and run a quick scan on her. Reason and medicine, difficulty 1. And she's basically like, as you're trying to scan her, she's like clearly impatient and kind of like, hurry up, under her breath.
All right.
Everything will be resolved if you give it the time that it needs to be. This should be an exciting time in your life. You're learning about yourself.
Right, so I will.
You are detecting, like, as you scan Ukath, you are detecting the normal things that you would detect in someone that has, like, a bit higher frustration, in the brain. But medically, physically, mentally, like, she seems to be normal. There doesn't seem to be any
I want to
medical
pull
condition.
the doctor and Snowpaw aside for a minute.
Okay.
And talk to them quietly about the unusually high levels of emotion that seem to be going on the ship.
You say as you're laughing, I assume?
Yes.
Doctor, I'm not noticing any chemical changes.
Yes, this does seem a bit weird.
Could this be a psychological attack?
Well, anything's possible, I assume so, the doctor says. And then at that moment, that's when the others barge in with their hysterical laughter, and the doctor gestures for Soth to bring to bring Corvinus over to the bed, and looks over to Snowpaw, and he says, "Let me scan her." He hands you like he says, "I'll do the main scan. You do the supplementary scan," and that's just the GM way of saying you assist his main task roll.
Yeah.
All right. So
Soth will stay with Corvinus until asked to leave, because the two people that he gets on best are Corvinus and Velik. And so...
Okay. Yeah. So far, he is not. Not asked anyone to leave, so everyone is good. Go ahead.
Yep. So, because I don't know what this is or what's going on, we're now seeing 3 people acting very, very weird. I'm actually going to go over to the supplies and actually my character's going to put on a mask, and well, she doesn't need gloves, but she'll put on a mask over her face just in case it is something like that, though we're not detecting it right now.
Okay.
And bring one over to the doctor just in case, because we don't need him going down too.
All right.
Just look at him and go. Might be an unknown pathogen.
It's definitely a possibility. Or that's definitely a possibility.
A little bit peeved, Dorton will go over and get her own mask from the supply closet.
Do you guys want the doctor to spend any momentum? You have 2 bonus momentum, it looks like. Actually, you would have had 3 with that last scan, so...
right.
Do you guys want him to...
I will definitely donate. Yeah, I'd say 2 to 3 is good. Anybody else disagree?
It's important roles, yeah.
That's not as good as I was hoping for. He's like, yeah, I got nothing. It seems to be some sort of, clearly some kind of psychological effect of something, but, without more data. You know what? Get that damn Vulcan out of that tube. We're gonna put Corvinus in. And yeah, basically they're gonna shove Corvinus into the brain scanner. I'm gonna go ahead and roll an assist on the ship.
I will help. I
All his
Well, I was
sides are
planning on helping
literally
with this,
fucking
too.
hurting.
Oof,
The
ship
ship
did
has
not
been
assist.
no help at all.
It really hasn't. It is a transport ship, to be fair. Let's see. Although its stats aren't that bad. Let's see.
I wasn't sure if I could help with this.
Yeah, you can assist because I'm gonna roll Dr. Lambert again. Hopefully, get something better.
What do I roll for an assist? Reason medicine at.
Let's get rid of that complication.
How many on the task roll?
For one, it's for an assist. It's just one dice. All right, I'm gonna re-roll that because I'm gonna. Let's see.
Yes.
3, 4. Yep, I need that roll. So I'm gonna spend 1 momentum to re-roll at a higher complication range.
And I'll update the thing when it's all done.
All right, so we're should be at 7 because okay, 6. I trust your math more than mine. So 2, 3, 4, 5 successes were needed, and that's what we got. Dr. Lambert is staring at the brain. I would assume your characters might have heard of it, but probably don't really know what it is. So he'll go ahead and kind of exposition for you. He says, well, Xanthi fever is a virus that targets the empathic abilities of betazoids. It seems that there's a betazoid on this ship that seem to be transferring their own emotions onto others. It's so weird. It's weird that it hasn't affected me, though. Although I must admit it, I don't think anyone's ever truly loved me. And he starts crying.
I just look at the doctor and go, I think.
I'll start comforting the doctor, stroking his back comfortingly. It's okay.
I'm going to take my medical scanner, and I'm actually going to also